Hello, this is Shane Robert again with THC Force, and today we're going to be talking about search engine optimization, or SEO, and how it is really gold for marijuana dispensaries, one of the best ways you could possibly go about getting new customers through your door every day. So let's start by looking at some of the statistics. The fact is that your customers are shopping online. 97% of people use online media when they're researching products or services within 15 minutes of their home location. When we are doing research, when we're deciding what dispensary to go to, when we're deciding between a couple of different dispensaries that we have heard about from our friends, we go and check them out online. 90% of people use search engines when they are shopping locally, and over half, 55% of dispensary customers found their current dispensary through an online listing. Not just they found you online when they were checking you out to see what of the many dispensaries their friends recommended really looks like the best. More than that, they found their current dispensary by going online through Google. So one of the most important things you can do is work on your site rank, where you are located on Google when somebody does a search, because site rank determines traffic. 77% of search engine traffic goes to organic listings. This is just one example, this graph right here, of how we've been able to turn around a company's traffic from search engines and really grow their business. So how do you get a good search engine rank for your dispensary? Is there any sense to these stupid search engines like Google and how they list your dispensary? Well, there are things that just don't make sense, and there's other things that make even less sense, like this directional sign. Thankfully, though, search engines do make some bit of sense. So today we're going to be looking at, first, how search engines think, how they think about your dispensary and the logic behind it. Then we're going to look at how these search engine beliefs, their thoughts, how they translate into their algorithms that determine where you are located on Google, and how those algorithms translate into best practices for your website and what you should be doing today to increase your search engine rank. That's what we're going to be talking about at the end of this short video in just a couple minutes. So the first belief that search engines have about websites is that all websites are written by good authors. The second belief is that a 10-year-old is smarter than their computer programmers. By and large, computer coders, Google employees in particular, are geniuses, but they still believe that a 10-year-old is smarter than the best program they can write. We'll talk about what that means for your website in a second. But first, because they believe that websites are written by good authors, search engine algorithms make certain that website content counts big. They put a lot of emphasis on what is on your website when they are determining where your website is going to rank on Google or Bing or Yahoo. Here are some of the things that they look at. They're going to be looking at the website URL. That means the domain name, and if the keywords that someone is searching for, what they're typing into Google, is actually in that domain name. They look at the crawlability of your website, which basically means how your site is coded and if it's easy for search engines and humans to read all of the content there. They also look at the keyword density, meaning let's say that somebody goes and searches for dispensary Denver, Colorado. They type that into Google, or they type into Google Marijuana Center, Portland, Oregon, or wherever it might be. The search engine is going to look at that keyword that they typed into Google and how many times that is used on your website. That's keyword density. How many times that finds it on your website. They're also going to look more at the words at the start of the page, because any good news article, any book that's written by a good author is going to talk at the beginning about what is to come in that book. So Google gives more emphasis to the keywords that are at the start of your page. It also gives more emphasis to section headings, the larger text on your page and what keywords are there, because it thinks that a good author has written this website, and so a good author would put in each section heading the keywords that describe what is going to come in the following section. So they give even more emphasis to your title and your section headings. They also look at the meta tags of your website, the hidden code that defines the title and the description and the keywords. And out of this, the title is so important because that's basically the title of the book that is your website, and because a good author would include in the title the things that the book is about, they believe that your title counts a whole lot in determining what your website is all about. So because search engines believe that a good author has written your website, they put a particular emphasis on your title, your section headings, and the words earlier in the page. Now, their second belief is that a 10-year-old is smarter than a computer program. And because of that, all Google results are actually created by kids who are hopped up on candy and soda. Exactly as shown here, this is a Google team. No, that's not the case. Actually, because a 10-year-old is smarter than a computer program, what humans think of your website counts big. Google coders realize that their best program isn't going to do a good of a job as understanding what your website is all about, whether it's written in good English, whether it's interesting, whether it makes sense, than your 10-year-old niece or nephew. They realize that humans are always going to be a better judge of the quality of a website. So they look at whether other humans like your website or not. They look at how many people are linking back to your website. They assume that if you have a great website like Wikipedia, people everywhere are going to be referring back to Wikipedia when they're writing their blog articles, when they're posting. They always link back to Wikipedia because it's such a great website. So Google assumes if you have a great website, then you will be seeing lots of other websites and social media linking back to you. So Google looks at the quantity of backlinks, links from other websites coming into yours. Just how many are there? The more, the better in Google's eyes your website must be. It also looks at the quality of backlinks. If Joe's Coffee Shop is linking back to you, and Joe's Coffee Shop isn't that valuable of a website in Google's eyes, it doesn't count for nearly as much as if Wikipedia links back to your website. So the quality of the sites linking back to you make a huge difference. Also, the content of the backlinks counts for Google. It believes that if somebody is using the anchor text, the blue underlined text that you can click on a website to go to another website, if that text says best marijuana dispensary in Colorado and it directs to your website, well then you must be relevant for those keywords, or else they wouldn't have been the ones that the people used to link to your website. So, what is the content of the links that are coming back to your website and the keywords that people are using? This has a huge impact on what Google thinks your website is all about. So you need to have a popular website in order for Google to give you a good ranking. Here is some of the ranking factors and their correlation with being on the first page of Google. You can see that number of backlinks is extremely important, number 2 there. And then let's look at the total, the different types of links that you could have. If you have Facebook shares, meaning people are sharing about your website on Facebook, see that was the number 1 factor in this survey for popularity and a good ranking on Google. You see Facebook comments, Facebook likes, tweets, all of these things, social media related, have a huge impact on your website. So this means that you need to be popular online, getting lots of backlinks, and in particular, lots of backlinks from social media. So let's sum this up. What should you do today for your dispensary website? What should you be doing right now to get more visitors from Google and more customers coming into your dispensary? Well, the first thing to do is to start writing great content. Blog posts on your website are essential. And when you're doing this, remember to use keywords, the right keywords, in the title, the headings, and the content of that blog article. Don't just expect that Google knows that you are really writing about the term, you're targeting the term Dispensary Denver, Colorado, or Dispensary Colorado Springs. No, use that keyword. If you want to rank for it, you need to use it. Make the title of your post. Visit our dispensary in Fort Collins, Colorado. Use that keyword in your title. Use it in the section headings. Be creative. Fort Collins, Colorado dispensary just opened. Great. We are the best Fort Collins dispensary. Great. These are section headings and different titles and different articles that you can have that are targeting that one keyword. And use that throughout your content. And remember to always publish often. Google loves to see active websites, and each time you're writing a new blog article or publishing a new page on your website, target different keywords. Make sure that you are getting all of the keywords, such as Denver dispensary, one keyword. Dispensary Denver, a second keyword. Dispensaries in Denver, a third keyword. Every phrase that someone might type into Google to try to find you should be another blog post on your website. And second, make sure you are sharing like crazy. Share your blog posts that you're writing a lot of, right? Share these on social media, on your Facebook page. Tweet them. Go ahead and post them on your Google Plus profile. Share everything that you produce. And be sure to publish other info. Don't just wait until you write another blog post. You have a new strain come into your dispensary. Tweet that. Post it on Facebook. You have another sale. You have a tip on how to roll the best joint. Or you have an explanation of what the real value of a vaporizer is and what oil is compared to wax. All of these sorts of things. Continue publishing and sharing on social media all the time. And make sure, number 3, that you are listing your website everywhere, that you are going out in every directory that you can find. You are manually putting in your website information and creating another link back to your website. And in particular, I want to highlight Google+. Make sure that you have a very full and rich and complete and accurate profile on Google+. Google has integrated your Google+ profile with their Maps feature. So if somebody's searching through the maps or navigating using Google Maps on their phone while they're trying to find a dispensary close to where they are, they're going to be influenced, those results are influenced by your Google+ profile. So make sure that you really do a great job of building that up. And if you have any questions on that, we actually have a Google+ specific tip blog post on our website at thcforce.com. So that is all about search engine optimization and why it is really gold for your marijuana dispensary. Again, this is Shane Robert with THC Force, and until next time, I wish you all the best with your dispensary.